Okay, so next week we've got orientation week. If it's your day to come to orientation, you're going to be there at 9. We can look at that schedule again. If you're not at orientation that day, you still need to log on to Zoom at 9 o'clock. We'll say good morning, we'll check in, we'll take a look at what we've got to get done that day, and then you're out of there. Okay? Wednesday is going to be a normal day. Everybody's going to be on Zoom at 9 o'clock. Nobody's going to be at orientation or at school. And when we log on at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, our main job that day is going to be to make corrections to the tests that we took this week. Okay, so any corrections that need to get made, that's what we're going to talk about during that day on Wednesday. Okay.
Miss Steiner.
Yeah, is that Maddie?
It's kind of confusing that we don't have school on Wednesday and then we only have school on Wednesday.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? So no school, only school. Whatever, we're gonna take it, right? Orientation week. Then we've got Thanksgiving break, where you're going to enjoy turkey with your family. Then starting on the 30th, it's going to be our first day back to school face-to-face. And I know we've talked about this before, but my A's, you're going to be there Monday, Tuesday, and B's, you're going to have work to do on these days. My B's, I'm going to explain to you that work when you're here on these days. So when you come to your orientation, my B's, I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing at home on these 2 days. Okay? My A's, you're going to be in school with me on these days. Yes, question.
What does face-to-face mean?
Means our faces are face-to-face. Means that we're in the classroom together.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Hey, Miss Tyner.
Yeah, Ashton, what's up, kiddo?
Would there still be buses?
There are buses. The transportation people are contacting families to tell them what the dealio is with the bus. Okay, Ashton? There's a very limited number of spots on the bus. Very small number of people get to ride the bus, but we know who needs to ride the bus, and those things are all being communicated. Okay, Ashton? They're going to call them up. Okay? If they haven't already, they might have already. Then we've got Zoom on Wednesday. And then my B's, you're going to be in school Thursday, Friday. My A's, you're going to have work to get done on those days. Okay? All right. We're going to talk more about what this schedule is going to look like when you come to your orientation here. I'm going to explain more about what your schedule is going to look like. All this will get explained better when you come to your orientation in real life. Okay? Yes. If I am Maddie, Billy, Bentley, or Jonathan, I'm not coming to any of these orientations. You do still need to log on every day at 9 o'clock next week, every day at 9 o'clock, just like normal, okay? We'll check in, and then you'll have work to get done. Okay? Everybody cool? Yeah, sure. Okay. So tomorrow, no school, woohoo! Regular Zoom, 9 o'clock check-in, 9 o'clock check-in, regular Zoom, 9 o'clock check-in, 9 o'clock check-in. Does that make sense to everybody?
Remember, Miss Tina?
Yeah, Jonathan.
It's almost like we're getting the winter break.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to remind you, and I am currently writing a letter home to families to making sure they know all this. However, this is our orientation week schedule for orientation week next week. So you need to make sure that you know what day you're coming, okay? So my Monday people, these are my A's, these are my B's. My A's on Monday, my A's on Tuesday, my B's on Thursday, my B's on Friday. Something exciting happened yesterday. Christian, you want to tell him? Tell him, Christian. Tell him what happened yesterday.
I'm going back to school.
Woo, woo! Christian's mom decided he could come back to school. Woo, woo! We're very excited, Christian. Very excited. We also have our cohorts here. If you forgot which cohort you're in or what's going on or your family wants to see, it is right here, all written down for you of which cohort you are in. Okay, so Jonathan and Bentley, because you are cohort A, that means that your days to be on Zoom with us all day, you're going to be online on Mondays and Tuesdays with the A's. Okay, and Who are my B's? Billy and Maddie, your days to be online with us all day, your days to be online all day are going to be the B's. You're going to be online all day Thursday, Friday. Okay, so even though you're not in school, you're still logging on those same days. Okay? Any questions? We've been through it a lot. Hopefully by the time we actually have to do it, you've got it all figured out. Polo Buddy, I need you to get out of your bed. Yeah, way too snuggly and comfy. Go find a chair, like at a table. Okay? We're not gonna be lying in bed today unless you're sick, which your mom did not tell me you're sick, so I'm gonna tell you to get out of bed. Morning, Leo. All right, let's take a look at what we're doing today. Okay, so today is Tuesday, November 10th. My ladies who have girl group with Mr. Michael, you do have girl group today at 11 o'clock. If you are in that group, this link will appear on your Google Classroom. We have our Zoom meeting. You've got a journal to do about Veterans Day. Today, our big project is we're gonna do our mom's best friend test. For math today, we are looking at the first page of review for our test on Friday. And then you've got Harry Potter chapter 16 today. I wanted to show you how you did on your assignments yesterday. Where do you think I put that piece of paper? It wasn't so great. I still love you. Take a look at it. Oh wait, just kidding. Everyone turned everything in yesterday except for Michael. And Michael turned in 2 things, which is more than I've gotten from Michael in quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? Everyone turned everything in.
21.
That is 21.
21.
You've only ever gotten 21 one other time. I must have really scared you by taking away your short Friday on Friday. I scared you right into turning in.
Miss Tyner,
Now we get today off early.
does that mean we gotta get out early today?
Well, I'll tell you. 1, 2, 3. I'm going for 4. 4. I had to think about how to do that for you guys today, and here's what I came up with. What we're gonna do today is, because we have to get through this stuff before Friday, you know. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna take some math notes, and we're going to finish Columbus, which should take us about 15 minutes. And then we've got our mom's best friend test. And what I wanted to do with mom's best friend is keep you on all together while we're taking that test the way we've done in the past. So I can kind of look and see, and you can say, Ms. Tyner, can you check this number? Can you check that number? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then I'm going to let you log off and complete the test by yourself. If you want to stay on and keep working with me online, you can, but it'll kind of be your choice. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because I can't just be like, oh, we won't do that math, but we have to because we have our test on Friday. So we have some stuff we have to get done. Okay? Everybody good? Any questions? Yes? You guys, you made me really happy yesterday when I was grading stuff. Really happy. Look at that. Look at that. So many X's. Good work.
I've never seen that many X's in my life.
So many X's. All right, let's get some math done. Are you ready? I'm gonna need your math notebook out for favor. All right, here we go. Math notebook.
Page.
Oh, you guys, I forgot. Just kidding. No math notebook. Let me show you what you need. In your, I forgot that I made you a page to do today instead of having to use our notebook. Pretty cool. All right, in your binder, my lovely ladies and gentlemen, I need you to find this page. It is should be the next page in your binder if you put the papers in your binder. It says Module 2 Review 1 at the top. That is the page I need you to have out right now. Module 2 Review 2 Review 1. Find it. Module 2 Review 1. All right, you are looking for this page, Module 2, Review 1. You make sure it says those exact same words. Should be out of 10 points. There's another one in your binder that's out of 8 points. You don't want that one. You want the one that's out of 10 points. Okay, now last time we did a page like this, I told you, you have to keep this page. You have to keep this page because it looks just like your test. You have to keep this page. And then I had like 6 of you who were like, I didn't get rid of the pages. So today, after we're done doing this page, we're all gonna put the page in our binders together so that when you take your test on Friday, you have this page to look at. Because if you have this page to look at, it's gonna give you the answers, okay? Yes, we're gonna not lose this page. If you can't find it because you lost it before we did it, you're gonna want a piece of binder paper. You're gonna wanna write really clearly on there all this information so you can use it, okay? Everybody got it? Yes? I'm not even gonna ask who can't find it because that's on you. All right, here we go. We are looking at number 1. Now, number 1 uses some big scary words, so I want you to listen to me carefully because these exact same big scary words are gonna be on your test, and I don't want you to be scared of them on your test. It says, express the missing divisor using a power of 10. Okay, now a power of 10, if you remember, is like 10 to the 3rd power, 10 to the 2nd power. You remembering this? 10 to the 5th power, right? And remember that when we learned this originally, you guys learned that 1,000 is equal to 10 to the 3rd power. And you guys told me on that day that the pattern was however many zeros are here is what the exponent is. Remember when we were talking about this? Is it ringing some bells? You're like, oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, if you don't, I'm sorry. Turn your brain on. So when we multiply or divide by a power of 10, who can tell me what does that do to my decimal? What does it do to my decimal when I multiply or divide by a power of 10? Who remembers? If you don't remember, it's going to take us longer. We're going to be online longer. So if you know, you want to tell us what happens to my decimal when I multiply or divide by a power of 10.
You have to move it.
I have to move it. Thank you, Maddie. I have to move it. So I'm going to flip my paper over for a second and make sure that we all remember what Maddie said. So if I had 4.26 times 10 to the 3rd power, Maddie says, I'm going to move my decimal. Okay, so when I do this, it should look really familiar to you. You should remember. I see a 3 right here. So Maddie's telling me I'm going to move my decimal. How many times, Maddie?
3.
3. And it's multiplication, so I want to make my number bigger. So I'm going to move to the right. Remember when we were doing this? Did it for a long time. Okay, so Maddie's telling me I'm going to move my decimal 3 times to the right. So here I go. 1, 2, 3. Who can tell me what's going to go in that empty space right there? What's going to go in the empty space?
0.
Lots of people saying 0. Their mouths are
A
going.
0.
Okay, so we're going to end up with 4, 2, 6, 0 decimal. So by multiplying by 10 to the 3rd power, I made that number 1,000 times bigger. Hand up, I remember this. I might not have been able to do it by myself, but I do remember the crazy lady doing this a while ago and writing it down in my math notebook. I should see all your hands in the air, or I'm going to make you get out your math notebook and show me the page where you wrote these notes down. Oh, there we go. Alive. Okay. All right.
Bentley's not raising his hand.
Say it again, Jonathan.
Bentley's not raising his hand.
Shocker. Okay, so what if I had the same number, 4.26, but instead of multiplying by 10 to the 3rd power, I divided by 10 to the 3rd power? Okay, don't tell me, Maddie. What's going to change? Exactly the same math problem, but now I'm dividing by 10 to the 3rd power. Jonathan, please put that away. I've got only Montserrat who has any idea about what I should do here? Only Montserrat. Oh, and Maddie, and Christian, and Valeria, and Aaliyah. Okay, I'm gaining hands. Gaining hands. It's going to be a rough test on Friday if you can't even tell me this. All right, what do you see, Montserrat?
Well, it's the same problem, but now you have to move it to the other way, and it makes it smaller.
Okay, so division makes things smaller. I need
That's
to.
not so good.
Who's talking to me? Braxton, is that you? Yeah, what'd you say, Braxton? No? Okay. So I'm going to move my decimal to the left 3 times. So now I'm going to go 1, and I ran out of numbers, which used to really confuse us, but I think we all know now that I just keep going. Okay, so my decimal moved over there. How many zeros am I going to have to add in the front right there? 2. You got it. 2. I'm going to have a ghosty here and a ghosty here, and my answer is going to be decimal 00426. This is old news. It's notes from long, long ago that might be a little dusty in your brain, but once you get the dust off, hopefully your brain is able to do it, because you're going to have to do it on your homework today as well as on your test on Friday. So let's take a look at this problem. It says, express the missing divisor using a power of 10. Okay, I need everybody to put a 10 in these empty spots, because if it's a power of 10, it's going to have 10 as the base. Now, what we need to decide is how many places did that decimal move. So I had this, I divided by 10 to the something power, and I ended up with this. So how many times did that decimal move?
3 times.
Up here. Braxton says 3. Braxton, can you tell me how you got 3? So
I started
me
where
went
that decimal is.
3. You're telling me it went like that, Braxton?
Yeah.
3, so that would put 1 0 in the front, which is what I see right there. Do we agree with Braxton that this decimal moved 3 times? Yeah. There's no math here, guys. It's just counting. So hopefully we can all get through it. So I'm going to put a 3 right here because Braxton is correct. My decimal moved 3 times. Okay. What about on B? They had this. They divided by 10 to the something power, and they ended up with that. Now I want to clarify that this is not a decimal. That is a comma. So this number has no decimal. Haiti, where's the decimal on a number that doesn't have one?
In the end.
At the end. We should all know that. If you didn't know it, I'm selling you on eBay. Okay, so I'm going to put my decimal on there. So it started here and it ended here. How many places did that decimal move, Braxton?
2 times. I mean, yeah, 2 times.
2 times. So it was here. That'd be 1 move. That'd be 2 moves. I agree with you, Braxton. 2 moves. Okay. So I've done the first part. Express the missing divisor using a power of 10. Check. Now the next part that Jonathan's going to forget to do, because that's how he rolls, right, Jonathan? He's going to remember, though, on this one to do this so I can give him the point for it. It says, explain your reasoning using a place value model. So what I've got to do here is I got to make a place value chart. If you don't make the place value chart and you just put those numbers in there, I can't give you all the points because you didn't fully answer the problem. So let's make a place value chart. Okay, here we go. You're copying this down because you're going to have to do it on your homework and on your test. So you want a good example for yourself. Okay, I'm going to go all the way from thousands to thousandths on this one. Remember, on like the second day of school, you could make one of these for me in 35 seconds. So it shouldn't be very hard to make them now. You guys, I get to teach math in real life so soon. I'm so excited. Okay, while I'm at it and I'm feeling good about making place value charts, I'm just going to make one over here too. Just gonna bust that guy out right now so I don't have to make it later. 1,000. Okay. Now my first mission is to put these numbers on the place value chart the way they started. So where should I put the 8, the 7, and the 4? Aaliyah, where should I put the 8, the 7, and the 4 for where it started? Where did that number start? Oh, yeah.
The 8, where the 10 is.
8 goes in the 10s, good girl. The 7 goes in the 1s, and the 4 goes in the 10s. She's got it. That was very hard for us in August. It should be very easy for us now. You guys can see the decimal is between the 7 and the 4, and you can see that the decimal was between the 7 and the 4. Perfect, Aaliyah. Brandon, what about this one? Where did this number start?
Started in front of the 1,
The 4? What place is the
in the 1's place.
That's not a comma. I said that when we were talking about the number to begin. I mean, that's not a decimal, that's a comma, Brandon. Jonathan, where should my 4 go? Remember a second ago where I said this should be really easy? Jonathan, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Miss Tyner, can I tell you?
In the 4,000. I mean, in the 1,000.
Okay, my 4 goes in the thousands. 6, 2, 1. Okay, I know that because Haiti told me that my decimal was at the end. And for my decimal to be at the end, this is where everybody's got to be. All right, now all I have to do is put these numbers on here where they end up. That seems pretty easy. It's already up there. I just have to copy it down. So where does this end up? I see a 0 in the 1's place, a 0 in the 10th, an 8, 7, and then, oh my gosh, I'm going to lie down on the floor and cry because there's nowhere for my 4. No, I'm not going to lay down and cry. I'm going to just add another spot. There's my 4. Okay, so you guys told me that this should be a 3 because you told me that the decimal moved 3 times. I can confirm it should be a 3 because I can see that my numbers are moving 3 places down here. They're going, it went from the 10s, 1, 2, 3, moved 3 places over.
Miss Tyner?
Yeah.
What's the last spot labeled?
It's the 10,000th place. Just every time just add the 0. That make it better, man. You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, what about B? Amy, where do my numbers end up on B? Where should my 4 go, Amy? What's it end up? This is the easy problem, and I've had to call on a lot of people to try to make it through them. Daniel, where should my 4 end?
Miss Tyner, what is this paper called?
What'd you say, Ashton?
Nothing, never mind.
Daniel, where should my 4 end up? Continuing a good trend for this test on Friday. Ashton, where should my 4 end up? Natalie, where should my 4 end up?
Oh my
Now you gotta talk louder.
It's
I don't even think they're talking.
So I'm mostly getting stares. It's gonna be a good test. Polo, where should my 4 end up?
In the 10?
Thank you, Polo.
Finally.
End in 10 space. 4, 6, 2, 1. Guys, it's literally written right there. You
Yeah,
just
I know.
put the number on the chart.
So why didn't you say it?
So this is where it started.
How long did it take you guys to figure that out?
Where it ended. Jonathan,
5 minutes.
Jonathan, you didn't even know.
Jonathan, you got one of the lowest scores on your math homework last night. So you need to be kind to people. Okay? Watch yourself. Got it? You like to act like you've got all this going on, and then you turn in work that shows that you don't have it going on, and then you don't make corrections to it. So just slow your roll. Okay? I love you a lot, but you don't need to talk to people like that. Okay? Not kind. Okay. To the rest of us, guys, it's written right here. We should have been done with this math problem like 10 minutes ago. You're the people who want to get out early today. But you've known that since August. I had to call on people before somebody could tell me where the 4 goes in that number. That's scary.
Miss Tyner,
Yes, Maddie.
I have a question. Why do you like using the sticks so much?
Because otherwise you're the only person that answers. All right, you guys. So that was the easy one. Now we're going to go on to the hard one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You're going to need a times table to get through. So I need you to find a times table and get that out. Okay, so I'm going to get mine out on my computer screen. Okay. Times table. Make it national. You don't have a times table, you need to find one, or you shall not survive. There you go. Okay, while you're finding a times table, I'm going to read directions. It says, estimate the quotient. Big scary words. I don't want you to be scared of them on your test. Estimate the quotient by rounding the equation to relate to a 1-digit fact. Scary words. Explain your thinking in the space below. Okay, here's what they want you to do. I'm going to explain it to you in English. Same directions are on your test, so you want to be listening very carefully. What they want you to do is they do not want you to actually do this division problem. Okay, they do not want you to actually do this division problem. That is not what they're asking you to do. Everybody hears me, right? Somebody's still going to actually do these division problems on their homework, and then they're not going to get the points. You are not doing this division problem. What they want you to do is to make a guess about what the answer to this problem is. But they don't want you to just go, I like 4s today. I'm going to guess 4. No, they want you to have some kind of math that backs up your guess. They want you to make an estimate. Now, the way that they want you to do that is by rounding the numbers. So what we've got here is 352 and 71. Okay. The first thing I want you to do for me is I want you to round that 71. Oh, we're frozen. I told her you weren't going to feed her more candy because she chews so well. Just to remind you.
70.
Talk to Corey about Halloween. Waiting for your internet to work. I guess it's my internet. The first thing we got to do is we got to round 71. Okay, so what would 71 round to be? Wyatt, what would I round 71 to be?
70.
Is everybody okay with Wyatt rounding 71 to be 70? Yes? Cool.
Mhm.
Y'all could round 71 to be 70? Yes? Okay. So we are going to round 71 to be 70. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to find a math fact that 352 could round to be. Braxton, it's really distracting. You're upside down and poking the screen with a pencil. I can't ignore it anymore. Can you please stop? I'm trying to teach. We have a test on Friday. Your friends couldn't answer the easy question.
I didn't know I was upside down.
I really need to focus on what I'm doing and not you, okay? We need to round 352 so that 70 will go into it evenly. So I'm going to ignore my 0 for a second, and I'm going to think about just the 7. I'm going to look at my times table, and I'm going to look at my 7, and I want you to find for me a number that 7 goes into that we could round that 352 to be that would be close to 352? So I could round it to be 700. I could round it to be 140. I could round it to be 210. But what would be the closest fit? The number I actually have is 352. What would I want to round this to be so it fits? Valeria,
35.
are you talking to me, babe?
35.
35. Does everybody see the 35? Right? You see 7 and 35. Does everybody see it? You see those numbers kind of hiding in there, right? And that's a math fact. We just looked at it on here. We looked at the 7s and we see 35 right there. And that's a perfect fit. That's going to be 5, right? So I'm going to look at these and I'm going to decide to round this to be 350. Everybody okay? I could have rounded it to be 360. I could have rounded it to be 400. I could have rounded it to be a lot of things, but I want to round it to something that fits. I want it to fit with my 7. Now you guys know that zeros kill zeros. So this 0 is going to kill that 0. What is my estimate going to be?
Your estimate's gonna be 5.
5. Well, my estimate. Are we okay?
Kinda.
Let's try it again. Okay, let's try another one.
What, Miss Tyner?
Yeah, Maddie.
Is this our homework?
Nope, this is your classwork. You have homework to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, we always want to round this one first. Okay, so 598. What would that round to be?
600.
Okay, so 600. Okay, now I'm gonna look. I see that we rounded this to be 600, and I see a 23 on the front of this. Does everybody see a 23? You see that 23? Yeah? Okay, so let's go look. Let's go see on the 6s, what can I find that's close to 23?
18.
I see something closer than that.
24.
Did we see 24? 24 is really close to 23, right? So let's do that. Let's round this to be 24. 0, 0. Now let me ask you a question. If I asked you to round that number, would you ever round it to be 2400?
No.
No, because that like breaks all the round,
No.
right? If I was going to round this, that 3 is not going to round. It's not going to round to be that. The reason that I chose to round it to that is because it fits with my 6. I want to try to find a math fact that I can round these numbers to be so that they'll fit together. Okay, that's your whole goal. Okay. All right, zeros kill zeros. So these 2 zeros are going to kill these 2 zeros. And what's my estimate going to be?
4.
4. Okay, got it. Here's the part that my friend Jonathan's going to forget to do. Explain your thinking in the space below. So I have to have some words here. If I don't have words, I'm not going to get all the points. I'm going to help you write some really nice sentences right here. I'm going to repeat that you're going to want to keep this piece of paper because on your test, you're going to want to copy those sentences down. Okay, so are you ready? Yes? Pretty simple. Okay, I'm going to divide my space in half here. And I'm going to write I rounded 352 to be 350. 71. 70. 35. 5. Okay, you were explaining why did you round it that way? Well, I rounded it that way because it fits together as a math fact. Okay, so looking at that lovely sentence, what do you think I would write on B? Use the same sentence, just different numbers. What would I write over there on B? Let's see who I can torture. Amara, what would I write for B?
You can write, I rounded 598 to 600 and 2,334 to 2,400 because 2,400 divided by 600 is equal to 4.
Got it. So what you're trying to do is show, hey, this is the math fact that I was thinking of when I made up this rounded math problem. Okay, you have 2 of these to do on your homework today, and you'll have 2 more on your test. If you're not sure about that, that feels really confusing, and what in the world is Ms. Tyner doing? Office hours, we'll be there doing it. Okay. You guys, 21 people. 21 people. I'm still excited. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just trying to write down my sentences.
How many marbles did we get?
Even 4, because I like that much.
If Michael would have turned in his work, how many would have we got?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. That would have been a first.
Wait, Miss Tyner.
But Miss Tyner, last time we got this many people, Michael's the person who didn't turn his work either.
He's also the only person not here right now. Bless his heart. Jonathan, are you talking to me? Jonathan, I can't.
No, it was me.
Who's me?
Jose.
Jose. What's up, Jose?
So you remember yesterday how you said that you were like in the office hours, you're gonna show us the swivel camera?
Yeah, I showed it to everybody this morning before you were here, Jose. I'll show it to you again in office hours, okay? But right now we got to keep moving.
Tyna,
Jonathan.
did Daniel turn
Okay,
his stuff in?
Yeah, Daniel turns his stuff in. Every day he's at school, Daniel turns his stuff in. Because Miss Amanda's sitting right in front of him. All right.
Daniel, make sure you Daniel.
He's at school today. He's got
Michael, turn in your stuff. We need to
Michael's not even here.
get you so we can.
He's not here, Jonathan.
Oh.
But I love him, so I hope he's watching me. All right, let's try number 3. Now, number 3
You watch.
is pretty fun. Okay, number 3 is pretty fun. It says, generate and solve another division problem with the same quotient and remainder as the problems below. Explain the strategy for creating a new problem. Okay,
Miss Tyner,
translation. What's up, Maddie?
what does quotient mean?
Answer.
Answer, okay.
Another division problem whose answer is 4 remainder 9. Everybody see that these problems have the same answer? 4 remainder 9. Everybody sees that? 4 remainder 9, 4 remainder 9. Yeah? Good? Yeah? Okay. So it's asking us to make another division problem that has the answer 4 remainder 9. That's it. That's what we've got to do. Now, anybody have an idea of how we could do that besides doing 87 million division problems and trying to find one that works?
You have to do multiplication.
Tell me what you mean, Maddie.
I don't know, I forgot how to do it, but you multiply that number times something, and then you'll get a multiplication.
You remember back when we were doing division and we had to do the check? Do you guys remember that? The day that we had to do the check on it? I'm going to find my notes on how we did that. Just you wait 1 second. Remember when we were doing this that I told you was going to be on your test? Here it is. So when we were doing this problem, you guys, let's pretend that I didn't know this inside number right here. Okay, I only knew that the answer was 2 remainder 27. So if I wanted to get that number, remember we had a way to do that. First, we multiplied the answer times the outside number. So we multiplied 51 times 2. And then we added the remainder, and that gave us the inside number. So let's see if we can do this. So first of all, and this is very important, I want you to write this down. Writing this down?
Mhm.
The number that you decide to put out here, whatever number it is on your test that you decide to put out there, it has to be bigger than your remainder. If I make this 2, then you guys know my remainder can't be 9. So this problem is not going to work. I have to make this number bigger than my remainder. So, Maddie, what number do you want to use? Maddie, can you hear me? Christian, what number do you want to use out there? There she is. Now she heard me. Look at that delay. Christian, what do you want to use, bud? Any number that's bigger than 13. I mean, sorry, bigger than 9. Woo.
11.
11. Okay, Christian wants to use the number 11.
11.
I want you to write this down. Write this down in your notes. You ready? Because you're going to want to look at it when you take your test. Has to be bigger than remainder. Has to be bigger than the remainder. If you forget that, you're going to have a lot of division problems before you find one that works. So you can pick any number. Christian could have picked 4,000,007. That would be a really annoying division problem to do, so I'm glad he didn't pick that. But he could have picked 62. He could have picked 59. He could have picked 47. Any number that's bigger than the remainder. Okay? Now, if I wanted to find that inside number, remember that we had 2 steps, right? The first step, multiply the answer times the outside. Oops, sorry guys. Everybody knows that that little pound sign, or should I say hashtag, means number in the real world off of Facebook and Instagram, right? Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my outside number times my answer. So I'm going to have 11 times 4. That's a math fact. It is what? Hey, yeah, 44.
44.
All right, step 2. Maddie just had us look in our notes. What was step 2? What do I have to do next?
Now you have to add.
Everybody remember, help Maddie out. Add what? Why? I see your hand.
Add the remainder and the answer that you got in 44.
Add the remainder. So I'm going to take my 4. I'm going to add my remainder, and I'm going to get something you can't see. I'm going to get 53. Okay. So my inside number is going to be 3. Now, if I actually did this division problem, which you probably want to do on your test, I'm sure you did, right? Watch. 11 can't go into 5. 11 goes into 53 4 times. That makes 44. I'm going to subtract correctly with borrowing, and I end up with the answer for remainder 9. Okay. Let's make another one. Let's make another one that has the answer for remainder 9. Okay, for remainder 9. I'm going to put it over here. For remainder 9. Okay, first thing I've got to do is I've got to pick a number to go outside. The only rule is it has to be bigger than the remainder. Bentley, can you give me a number to put out there? I need a number that's bigger than 9, Bentley. 10, he says. Okay, I'm going to put 10 out there. Cool. Now all I have to do is figure out what number goes inside. I have these 2 steps to follow. I'm going to multiply my outside number times my answer. That's going to be 10 times 4, which is 40. And then I'm going to add my remainder. Plus 9, 49. Put my 49 inside. This is my new division problem. That's my answer. Now let's see if I did it right. 10 can't go into 4. 10 goes into 49 4 times, and that makes 40, and I have a remainder of 9. Okay, turn your paper over for me. Flip it over. I want you to make me a division problem with the answer 7, remainder 6. 7, remainder 6. I want you to make me a division problem that has the answer 7, remainder 6. Are you ready? Now, first thing I got to do is I got to pick a number to go outside that's bigger than my remainder. On your paper, I want you to write down what is the number that you're going to put outside. Once you've written that down, I want you to chat it to me. Okay, what number are you going to put out? Only rule is it has to be bigger than 6. Should take you about 4 seconds to figure out what number you've got. Christian says 20, Aaliyah says 9, Braxton says 18. I've got 3 people who can think of a number bigger than 6. Katie says 8. Jonathan says 9. Maddie says 10. Amy says 8. Amara says 20. Billy says 24. Valeria says 11. All of these numbers are bigger than 6. Great job, guys. Rory could tell us one of those too. I'm very proud of you. All right, whatever number it is, you're going to put it out there. I didn't see anybody pick 13, so I'm going to pick 13. Okay. Now I've got to figure out a number that goes in here that's going to make it equal to 7, remainder 6. First step, I'm going to multiply the number I just picked times my answer. For me, that's going to be 13 times 7. For you, it's going to be whatever number you put out there times 7. I got 91 for mine. Your number is going to be different because you didn't pick 13. Now I have to do the second step, which is to add the remainder. For everybody, no matter what your number is, you're now going to be adding 6. Whatever your number was, you're going to add 6. Whatever you got right there, it's your number plus 6. For me, it's 91. So my inside number is 93. I don't know what yours is. Did you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whatever number you get there, you're going to put there in your division problem and then see if it works. See if your division problem works. For me, I did 7. 13 can't go into 9. I know how many times 13 goes into 97 because I just did it right there. Right, so it'll be 7, 91, and for me, I end up with my remainder of 6. So any problem I gave you, you could make up a division problem that has the same answer. Okay, now, Jonathan's not going to forget this part. It says, explain your strategy in creating the new problem. Jonathan's not going to forget that part, so I can give him all the points. So I'm going to write down here. I'm going to write a sentence that you're going to want to copy down because you're going to want it for your test. Are you ready? Here I go. First, I chose bigger than remainder. That's the first thing we did. First thing I did was I chose an outside number bigger than my remainder. Bentley, honey, you're the only person not writing. You're going to need this for your test on Friday. Okay, Wyatt, what did we do next?
You see,
Come on, Wyatt, you're one of the people who knows what's going on. I need you to be paying attention. What happens next? First, I chose a number to go outside, and then what did I do?
you times it by
Perfect.
the remainder.
You didn't multiply it by the remainder, you multiplied it by the answer.
Answer.
I multiplied my outside number times my. That's what we said right here, right? Right here where the number 1 is, I said multiply that answer times the outside number. Okay, then we had one more step. What was our one more step? First, you chose a number. Then you multiplied these. And then what was the last thing that we did? I've got Wyatt and only Wyatt. Here I go on the stick. Valeria, what do we do next?
You add. I added my remainder.
All right. On your test, I believe this question is worth 4 points. Okay, some of those points go to creating a problem, and some of those points go to having a good sentence. This is a perfect sentence. So you're going to want to keep track of this lovely piece of paper because I'm not going to give you another one. Ashton, I'm talking to you. Jose, I'm talking to you. My other friends who like to lose their papers in 24 hours. You need this paper on Friday. Don't. Yeesh. Okay, no, some of us are still right. Okay, now what I need you to do is to put that piece of paper in your binder, not shoved in an envelope, not lost on the floor, in your binder. So I'm going to take my math and put
Miss
it.
Tyner,
Yes, Maddie.
can you please put it back for one more moment? Thank you.
You guys, there's a page in your binder that we're not going to do because we're not going to have time. Back when I thought we had next week, we were going to do this week. This lesson that says lesson 28 homework, we are not going to do this. You can see I put a big slash through it. Don't have time. Lesson 28 homework can go. You don't need to keep it. You can recycle it. You can sleep with it under your pillow. You can turn it into origami out here. But lesson 28, done. Don't need it. When I found this page today, and I'm putting it back in my binder right now, so I prove it so I can have it for my test.
Did we take a picture of that today
Can you take a picture of it? What do you mean?
and like turn it in?
This? Oh, you have homework. Don't worry.
Oh.
Page you're going to want tonight on your homework, because when I turn to the next page, this is today's assignment. Ashton, you're always asking me which page, so Ashton, make sure you're listening to me. This is today's assignment. Module 2, review for assessment part. Okay, this is today's homework assignment. If you look at number 1, express the missing divisor using the power of 10. Explain your reasoning using a place value model. Hey, that sounds exactly like what we just did right here. That's pretty fancy, right? We're going to look and see what did we do here? How did Ms. Tyner want us to do it? I'm going to make sure that I have my place value charts. Jonathan's going to remember to do all the pieces so I can give him all the points. And then the second one on your homework today says, estimate the quotient by rounding the equation to relate to the one-digit fact. Explain your thinking in the space below. Hey, that sounds just like this one that we did right here. Estimate the quotient by rounding to a one-digit fact. Oh my goodness. So
We only have 4 problems for math homework.
What'd you say, Maddie?
We only have 4 problems for math homework.
You're welcome. So your homework today is this lovely page right here. Number 1 and number 2 look exactly. Come on, Elmo. Look exactly like
that's homework.
here it goes. Number 1 and number 2 that we just
So
did.
that's homework, right?
This was our classwork that we did today in class. This is our homework that we're going to do today. It looks exactly like. Okay. If it's hard, if it's confusing, if you're not sure what in the world we're doing, don't worry about it. Come to office hours and we will do it together. Okay? Everybody okay? Yes? Okay. We're going to put our, no, we're going to keep our binders out because we're going to finish our Columbus notes. Okay, we are going to finish our Columbus notes. Then we're going to talk about our mom's best friend test, and then we're out of here. Okay, so mom's best friend. Hey, did you guys notice the PE reflection today? I didn't even get any thank yous on that one.
You didn't make us do PE?
No PE video today. You're welcome. What I am going to post today, you guys, is a copy of our Columbus notes. A copy of page 1, page 2, and page 3. I'm going to post them on Google Classroom. It will be the last day that you can see them. Your test on these notes is Thursday. So you want to make sure that your notes are complete before you sit down to take that test on Thursday. So if your notes are not complete, they will be posted there today, but this will be the last day to copy. Hand up, I understand. I heard you, Ms. Tyner. I understand that you're going to take away those notes. I'm not going to be able to see them for that test on Thursday, so I better write it all down now. Everybody hears that? Okay. You're not going to come to me and say, I don't have that page. I don't know where it is. Nope, you got to get it down today. Okay, so I'm going to add page 3 and I'm going to drag that material up to today. Let me write it down on my list. There we go. All right, you ready? We got to get the last information in here so that you have all the answers for your test. Yesterday, we were working on page 3 of our notes. If you were not here yesterday, which I believe we all were, you may be missing some pieces of information. That's why I'm going to post your notes for you today.
Miss Tyner,
Yeah, Maddie?
we were all here because I remember you gave us a marble for being here.
But whether or not we were all still logged on for social studies remains a little bit of a mystery. So here we go. We are on the last page of our notes. And we were spending some time yesterday talking about how Columbus really did not treat the natives very nicely when he got there. We also talked about how he didn't do that because he woke up that morning and decided to be a jerk. He did that because that's how everybody treated people who were different. And we're going to talk a lot about that this year in class, about how people used to treat people who looked differently from them, thought differently from them. They used to treat them as not as good as them. It's a really important concept for us to master in 5th grade. But for us, this is kind of our first discussion. So yesterday we wrote down, Columbus returns to Spain. So he gets back on his ship. Make sure you're paying attention, guys. This test is coming. Next time I see you, we're taking this test. Columbus and his men, they get back on their ship. They have some animals, some plants, and remember, they even have some of the natives, and they sail back to Spain. Now, remember, somebody's family, well, it was Jonathan, but he thinks it was Brandon, but then I picked somebody else. Let's pretend it's Braxton today. So Braxton left Columbus 6 months ago. His family probably thinks he is absolutely, totally dead. Bottom of the ocean, ship has sunk, dead as a doornail, not coming back. And then, da-da-da, there he is. They returned back to Spain. And when they returned back to Spain, they told everybody about this new world that they had found. Okay, new notes. Ready?
Wait, Miss Tyner.
Yeah, Maddie.
How did they have enough food to feed the natives?
Say it again, Maddie.
How did they have enough food to feed the natives that they brought?
I don't think they fed the natives. I think the natives fed them, Maddie. I think when
Oh.
they got there to the island of Guanahani, the natives probably traded with them and shared with them some food so that they had enough to sail back. We talked yesterday a lot about how that first meeting went between the natives and Columbus. We talked a lot about it. We talked about how the natives were probably totally weirded out by these people with the wrong color skin and the wrong color eyes. We talked about that. Who the heck are you guys? Where did you come from? They probably thought they were nuts. We talked about how Columbus treated them unfairly. He kind of tricked them into trading unfair trades. Remember, we talked about that yesterday? I should see your head nodding. Some kind of recognition that you know what I'm talking about. Yes, you're with me. Yes. Okay. You're going to have to write about this on your test. But things were peaceful. Okay, Braxton, I need your attention this way. If the TV is on, turn it off, please. Things were pretty peaceful. Nobody fought anybody. Nobody, like, it was a good meeting. It went well. And Maddie's question is a good one. The natives helped Columbus. They were like, dude, you're all out of food. Here's some fruit. Here's some fish. Here's for your journey back. Okay. It was a good meeting. Things went well. Now, when Columbus gets back to Spain, you guys, he's a hero because he has found a new world, right? He walked into Braxton's house and claimed it as his, right? So here's what happens next. The king and queen send Columbus back to Guanahani. Okay, they send him back. Now, the reasons that they send him back are two very different reasons. Bentley, you need to pick up your pencil and write down what we're doing. You're about to do this for 6 hours a day, Bentley, so you're going to need to figure out how to manage that. The king and queen send Columbus back to Guanahani. Now, their reasons were very different. The king, he wanted Columbus to go back because he heard about all this gold. What does the king want? Come on, what does the king want?
He wants to trade like more hats and
Gold.
clothes
Oh, he
for the
wants
gold.
money.
He wants some more gold.
He wants more gold. And Columbus also came back and was like, dude, Ferdinand, these guys are so stupid. They'll give you gold for hats. Remember how we talked about that? Now, are they actually stupid? No. They just don't see the value of gold as Columbus and his men, right?
The hats are the same amount of value as the gold because they have a lot of gold and like Columbus has a lot of hats.
Value. You got it, Maddie. Doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that they value different things, right? So I'm going to put that in my notes.
You stuck in your chain.
Ferdinand wants the gold. Okay, that's pretty easy one. Now, Queen Isabella, I told you, Polo, I can't wait to teach this to your sister. I'm gonna make her a crown. Queen Isabella, she wanted something different, and this is important. You guys know that some people who are Catholic or Christian of different varieties, some people believe that if you are not Catholic or Christian, that you don't get to go to heaven. Now, that's what some people believe. And that is what Queen Isabella believed. And so she, when Columbus described these natives that lived in these huts and didn't have the right clothes, can you guys still hear me? You got all glitchy on me. Yeah, Montserrat says yes. So she thinks, oh my goodness, we have to go back to that island and save them. Those poor, poor savages, they need to be saved. Now, when she said saved, she meant two things. One was we need to build them the right houses. We need to give them the right clothes. We need to make them live like us. But the other kind of saved is the religious kind of saved. She wanted Columbus to go back and make them Catholic, build them a church, teach them about God and the Virgin Mary and Jesus and all those things, and save them so that they can go to heaven.
Miss Tina,
Maddie,
what happens if they didn't want them to build a church?
what happened if the natives didn't want them to build a church? Is that what you said, Maddie?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great question, though.
Oh.
Because remember, Columbus has claimed this as his. It's his now. He can do whatever he wants with it. I'm going to walk into Braxton's house and I'm going to change all the furniture around. I'm going to build an addition on the back. I'm going to do all kinds of crazy stuff because it's mine now. Now, Queen Isabella, her heart was in the right place. She thought she was doing something to help them. But when we think back to the Cliff Dwellers, did they need help? Did they need that help?
They
No.
didn't need help. They were living their best life that they ever could live.
They were doing just fine all on their own. But in Queen Isabella's mind, she wanted to save them. Okay, let's get some notes so we remember. Isabella wanted Columbus to, how did I phrase this? Convert. I'm going to put a word in there. Convert. Convert means to change. Like when we do conversions in math, we're changing from one unit to another. The natives to the Catholic. Okay, now she thinks this is the right thing to do. Her heart was in the right place, but unfortunately, as we just discussed, they didn't need to be saved. They were doing
Oh, because they have different beliefs. They think they're from the ground.
right. And it's okay for people to believe different things. That is okay. That's part of America's values. Is people can believe in different religions and they can believe in different things. But at the time, Isabella, just like Columbus, she thought her way was right and their way was wrong. You guys kind of see how that happened last year. And I don't know how far you guys got into the missions with Mr. Glendy before the world ended, but this is the same thing that happened with the missions. Junipero Serra, who you guys hopefully talked about during social studies, his job was to build missions all up and down California. And what he was supposed to do was make the Native Americans that lived here into Catholics.
I remember when we had to read like those big textbooks for our missions.
You guys made your missions, right? So the
Uh-huh.
they're cool. They're cool pieces of California history, but they're also kind of sad because this was another example of the Native Americans that lived here. They didn't need to be saved, right? They were doing okay the way they were. But this was a time where people thought that my way is right and your way is wrong. Does
But
that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Tina,
Jonathan.
well, since we're speaking of missions, I didn't realize, but I accidentally grabbed the mother missions.
You what?
I accidentally grabbed the first mission ever built.
You did. Well, there you go. First one built, Jonathan.
Miss Tyner.
Well, I'm trying to listen to Jonathan, Maddie.
Okay.
What's up, Jonathan?
That's it. I said nothing after that.
Maddie, what were you going to tell me?
I forgot.
So the king and queen send Columbus back to Guanahani. Ferdinand wants the gold. That one's easy. Isabella wanted Columbus to convert the natives to Catholics to save them. I put save in quotation marks because this is what she believed would save them. Okay. Now I'm going to put down here one more extra piece of information. He returned with 17 ships to build a colony. Now, a colony means they're going to build a town. So not only have they claimed this island as theirs, but now they're going to sail up to this island with their 17 ships full of stuff, and they're going to build a town. And that's going to include a church and lots of other things. And in Isabella's mind, she's helping them. But you have to imagine from their side, they're like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Right? Okay, last piece of information before our test on Thursday. Are we ready? I see a couple pencils still moving, but most people are looking at me, which means you're probably ready. Okay, last piece of information, guys, is that when Columbus came back to Guanahani, when he sailed back to Guanahani with his 17 ships and all of his people and all of his stuff, when he sailed back, he brought something with him on accident. Columbus brought supplies for the colony. When I say supplies for the colony, I mean wood, nails, hammers, all kinds of tools and things to build. Okay? He brought that stuff on purpose. He brought food. He brought people because he needs people to build the town and live in the town, right? He brought supplies for the colony. He brought that stuff on purpose. On accident, something that they didn't know a lot about then, he also brought germs. Now, you've probably heard about this from the missions, but there was one specific illness that Columbus's men brought with them, and it was called smallpox. Now, in Europe, where Columbus came from, here in Europe, lots of people had a disease called smallpox. Smallpox was kind of like chickenpox, which you guys don't get anymore. But chickenpox has little red bumps on your skin that itch, and you get a fever, and they're really contagious, kind of like coronavirus. So when I was a little kid, everybody got chickenpox. And if somebody in your class got chickenpox, the whole class got chickenpox. And you stayed home for a week, and you were itchy, and then you came back to school, and you were fine. Everybody
Miss
got it.
Heiner,
Yeah, Maddie.
I don't think I've ever got chickenpox before.
You guys, most of you have the vaccine now so that you don't get chickenpox anymore. People don't get it anymore. Some people still get it because vaccines are not 100%, but very few people still get chickenpox.
My
But
mom's got chickenpox.
Smallpox was much worse than chickenpox. I'm going to put smallpox in parentheses. And you guys know that you have an immune system in your body that keeps out illnesses and diseases. If
Like
Hades
coronavirus.
cold and we're all in the classroom together, we are not all gonna get Hades cold because your body knows how to fight off germs. When Natalie's body senses Hades cold germs coming at her, Natalie's body is able to be like, get away, right? Sometimes you get the cold too, but most of the time, your immune system is able to keep those things away. Now, if your body has never seen those germs before, your body doesn't know how to stop it. And smallpox existed here in Europe, but it did not exist over here. Do you see the big ocean in the middle? The smallpox germs couldn't get from here to here until Columbus and his men and his 17 ships sailed across, and they brought the germs with them. And because the Native Americans' bodies had never seen smallpox before, instead of being like, get away, smallpox, everybody was like, huh, what's that? And they got really, really, really sick. And a lot of them died. Because they didn't have hospitals, they didn't have medicine like we do now. If somebody gets smallpox now, which it does still happen, we have medicine and hospitals that are going to treat it. That person's going to be okay. But these Native Americans living on this island in the middle of nowhere in 1492, they got sick with smallpox. That was it. Okay. So Columbus brought supplies for the colony and germs. Smallpox. Okay, we're going to add another sentence. Here we go. The natives had no resistance. Right now, had no
Bella.
resistance. I'm going to put that in a box. Their bodies did not know how to resist these germs. They couldn't fight back to these germs, and many got sick and died. Now, Columbus and his men, their bodies, they're used to smallpox. Do they still get sick from smallpox sometimes? Yes, just like sometimes Natalie's going to get that. But most of the time, Natalie's body is going to fight off that cold because it knows how to do it. Columbus's men, they weren't sick, but they had those germs with them. And when they came on back to the island, and there were so many of them, they got a lot of Native Americans sick. Now, did he do it on purpose? Was he like, I'm going to rub my smallpox germs on you? No, it was an accident.
But isn't that good for Columbus because he wants to have that land?
Columbus definitely didn't care. It wasn't like he was going to shoot, I'm getting them sick. So that is a good point. He wasn't going to try to really fix it, but he didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. So many got sick and died. Okay,
Miss Tyler,
Braxton.
I bet like back then they didn't call that didn't call it smallpox. I bet they didn't even have a name for it.
They called it smallpox back then, Braxton. In Europe, they think they called it smallpox. Okay, last sentence. Columbus and his men killed the natives with their germs and weapons. Now, the germs part was an accident. The weapons part was not. So because Columbus kind of saw himself as so much better than or higher up and so different from the natives, he did not care if they died. And if they were in the way, if they were going to try to fight back, if they were going to try to stop Columbus, like Maddie said, what if they didn't want that? If they tried to stand up and fight back, they would just kill them. They did not care about these people. They were not important. Okay. Now, Columbus notes. That's it. That's the last piece of information you got to write down. I'm going to take a picture of this last page because I don't have this page in our document. I'm going to put that document up on Google Classroom so that you can check so that you're not missing anything. Okay. Good. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Okay. If you're not done, they will be up there on Google Classroom for you to finish copying down. Okay. Promise. It might take me a minute, but they'll be up there after class. Okay. All right. Now, last thing we've got to talk about today. It's only 10:30. We're doing great. The last thing we got to talk about today is our mom's best friend. This is our big mission today. I am going to talk through this test. Who's talking to me? Jonathan? What's up, Jonathan?
It wasn't me who was talking.
Wasn't you? Jose, was that you? Jonathan and Jose's sound the same. Okay, I'm gonna go on. If it's you, Jose. Okay. For today, our biggest mission is to get this test done. Okay, done. We're gonna start it in class. I'm gonna sit here with you and let you work while I'm here. And then I'm going to turn you loose and let you finish it. Okay. Miss Amanda, she walked away for a second. I'm going to talk through these questions with you. I believe the plan was for you guys to go with Miss Amanda to go and work on this test. Okay. Natalie, Miss Amanda is going to work with you later today, and Daniel, she's going to work with you later today as well. Okay. Everybody cool? Okay. Yes, Maddie, we have to do the whole thing today because I'm out of time. My plan was to not do the whole thing today, do half today and half later, but I lost some faith, as you know. So here we go. Make sure your ears are turned on so you can hear these questions being explained. Are you ready? If you want to open up your test on your Google Classroom, go for it. It's sitting there on your Google Classroom. Okay, number 1 says, reread pages 371 to 372. Use your own words to explain the effect Merritt's death has on the family. Why was the impact of Merritt's death so devastating to Leslie? We talked about this in class. If you were paying attention in class, if you were listening to that discussion, you should have a good answer in your head. The question is saying, how does Merritt's death affect the family? And why was it that the narrator, the little girl, why was the little girl especially upset? Remember when we talked about this in class? Head nods, thumbs up. I remember that conversation. Yeah, you're with me. Miss Amanda, do you want to take them now or listen to the explanation first?
Let's listen to the explanation and I'll take them.
And you can see I put it in big bold letters. Use evidence from the text to support your answer. That means this question has to have a quote. Okay, so you're going to have on page blah, blah, blah. The author writes blah. Okay. Number 2, based on what the author writes on page 374, what concerns, if any, does mom have about getting a new dog guide? I'm not asking what the little girl's concerns are. I'm asking what are mom's concerns? What is mom worried about? Okay. If you don't have an answer in your head, you're going to look at that page and you're going to read it and you'll find it. This question also needs to have a quote. You guys see that, right? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Number 3, on page 378, the author writes, it was all Ursula, Ursula, Ursula. Guys, we talked about this like 3 times. That answer should be right there in your brain. It says, what does this show us about how the narrator is feeling? Number 4 says, explain the meaning of the narrator signing the letter exhausted in Pittsburgh. I think it was Ashton who explained this one so well to us yesterday. Talked about this in class. Once again, if you were paying attention in class, these answers should be in your head. Why does the author sign the letter exhausted in Pittsburgh? You'll see this one needs a quote. Everybody see that? And number 5, your test only has 5 questions. Shouldn't take us too super long. What happens during loneliness training? Why is loneliness training important? We talked about this yesterday, and I said every year when I give this test, people are like, loneliness training? What, huh? Hopefully you were listening yesterday when we talked about it. Okay, you've got 5 questions to answer. You want Billy and Bentley, Miss Amanda?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put my Billy and my Bentley. Do you want them to sign on to your meeting, Miss Amanda?
Yeah, that'll probably just work easier.
Billy and Bentley, you are logging off right now, and you are logging on to Miss Amanda's meeting. Okay, Daniel's going to stay here for now, Miss Amanda. You're going to work with Daniel at some point today.
Did you want to stay there?
Or he can log off and work whatever you guys think is the best plan.
Okay. Okay.
Natalie, Miss Amanda, what did you want to do with Natalie?
If she wanted to come now, I think that she could work until 11 because she has her meeting at 11.
Natalie, you go with Miss Amanda now, okay? Okay. All right. The rest of y'all, you're staying here with me. Yes? You're ready? Okay, so I need your video on so I can see you and know what you're doing and know that you're alive and functioning. I need you to open up your mom's best friend test on your Google Classroom. And I am going to be sitting here like we've done in the past, where I am here to help you if you're stuck on something, if you want me to read something. Okay, I'm just going to go through and be looking at your tests and hopefully helping you guys complete those. Should have done planners before I let those guys go. Okay. Before we start this, we're going to do planners so that we can just be done when you're done doing your test. Okay, so I'm going to get my planner out. If I can find my binder, it's underneath my Columbus poster. All right, you are getting out your planner so we can do that, and then we'll start working on our test, and I'll just spy on you like I did last time, okay? All right, planners are out. We are opening to November 10th. Bada bing, bada boom. We've got 4 things to turn in today. I'm not gonna take a lot of time asking you. I'm just gonna write them down for you. You've got a journal. You've got a mom's test. You've got math. And the name of our math page today is, Miss Tanner put it somewhere. What'd I do with it, you guys? Did I put it back in my binder like I told you to do? Yep. Review for assessment part 1. Okay, and the last thing we've got today, what is it? Oh, Harry Potter. I'm gonna put a little star here that says check Columbus notes. Okay, so you want to check to make sure those notes are complete. All right, in class today, we talked about our upcoming schedule and our cohorts and our orientation and all that stuff.
Miss Tyner. Miss Tyner.
Okay.
I didn't bring my planner with me because my brother had to go to the dentist and I couldn't come because now they don't want their siblings there. So I had to come to my friend's house to do my school. So I didn't bring my planner.
Okay, that's okay. I still love you. All right, what do we do after that? We finished Columbus. And then we did our mom's. All right, reminders for tomorrow. No. It's cool. That's fun to write. Thanks, Wednesday.
Hi.
Okay, as soon as you are done filling out your planner, you are going to open up your mom's best friend test and you are going to get to work on it at 10:50, which is in 10 minutes. Hade, don't make me turn that TV off again, girl. Turn it off. At 10:50, I will give you the option to log off and continue working on your test by yourself. If you want to stay on with me a little longer, I'll stay on with you a little longer. Okay, so we're going to work on our test together for 10 minutes, and then I'll turn you loose if that's what you would choose to do. Okay, you're going to need your mom's best friend test because you are going to have to find. Am I not sharing my screen with you that whole time? Great, here you go. Once you're going to need your story for mom's best friend because you're going to need it to find some quotes to put in the answer. Have your story, you're not going to be able to find any quotes. So hopefully Jose found his. All right, you are logging on to your mom's best friend test. And I'm going to spy on you / help you if you ask me to. Okay, you can send me a chat. And in your chat, you can say, Tyner, could you check number 1? Miss Tyner, is my quote okay on number 2? Whatever it is that you want me to check, you can send it to me in the chat, or you can just say,
Hey, Miss Tyner. Miss Tyner, will you check mine on 5?
Will. Okay, I'm going to stop my share, okay? Okay. I'm going to close that. See you. Pull out my chat window. Hold on 1 second, Maddie. And Amy also asked me. So Maddie and Amy, you're up first. Okay, I got my chat open. So if you want me to check something, you send it to me and I will check it. And here I go. All right, Maddie wanted me to read 5.
Could you read 3 next? I don't understand it.
I just read through them all. So Maddie's not asking me to read her number 5. She's asking me to check what she wrote on number 5. You got it, Maddie. Braxton, number 3 says, okay, we talked about this like 4 times in class. So you need to look at that page, 378, and read where it says Ursula, Ursula, Ursula. How does this show us the author is feeling? That's what it's asking.
I meant number 2. It's like where it says what concerns, if any, does. I don't know what that means.
What is mom worried about? That's a concern. Okay, Amy, come to check number 1 for Amy. Rory, go the other way. All right, so Amy, you don't have a quote. I could give you 1 point out of 3 for what you've got here. Okay, this is what the sentence you have there is great, but you need to add more to it.